Hello and welcome to this art. Hello and welcome to this art fusion. My name is Diaz Holm, and with me I have the. My name is Diaz Holm, and with me I have the lovely Nick Morte.
Thank you for having me. I was looking forward.
Morte.
Thank you for having me. I was looking forward to it for a long time. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And
Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it. And but what exactly are we going to do? That's the big question. Big question.
My first idea when you first asked me if I have. My first idea when you first asked me if I have no idea what to paint, I would say nature and magic, because that's. I would say nature and magic, because that's naturally what first I think about. It doesn't have to be, but I mean we all come from nature. What first I think about. It doesn't have to be, but I mean we all come from nature, and we all have to deal with that magic. So, well, if we start with to deal with that magic, so well, if we start with nature and magic, and then we fill it up with creatures, so like even urban details, so whatever comes naturally.
Start with magic, nature and magic, and that's.
Not here.
Hello, do Houston? Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Major Tom? Do we have a connection to the interwebs? Let's hope we do.
Yeah. Okay.
And it seems like we do.
Yes.
Finally, let's do the whole intro spiel once again.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is the first time we're trying out the new streaming setup, and we seem to have some, let's call them weaknesses in our setup.
I would just blame cyber attacks.
I blame cyber attacks. I blame Russia. And my name is Diaz Holm, and also called Den Unge Herr Holm. And with me, I have the Russian cyber attacker, Nick Morte. Also,
Thank you for having me.
also an artist and tattoo artist, and a great painter.
Thank you.
And what we will be doing today is what you call an art fusion. You like to call it an art fusion.
It's the way we used to call it when we started doing it at tattoo conventions.
Ooh.
So it was something that, easy to define. It's not tattoo competition or like anything. There was like tattoo and burlesque on stage. And art fusion is like art. And
Do we have to have burlesque on stage? Can we?
oh yeah.
Can we have burlesque on stage?
We should. It's all about, the presentation. But I think, like, what would be alternative name for it? Artistic collaboration.
Yeah. So the idea is that both of us will draw on this here paper, and we will be trying to develop a image together.
Using
Yeah, the phone is up, down. It
very
doesn't
different
stream
approach.
anything.
The phone is upside down. This side is supposed to be. Oh, the phone is off. Okay, we're having more technical difficulties. It's why.
But that's how you make it classic. Then
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if there was everything would go smooth, that would be not remembered.
This is absurd.
There's nothing there.
No, now it should be here.
Should I?
Try to connect to it.
Deactivate and activate?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go. Nothing.
And nothing.
Oh.
Okay. We need to. Can you Can I go into the settings there?
To top down?
Yeah. And deactivate.
Is it because we are on a different network?
Yep. Probably. What's the port? Let us see here. Sorry.
That's because we are on my network. So you need to connect to my network.
Yeah. That's the problem. In.
Yes.
It's 172.
Give me a second. Yes, 172. Yes.
Point 20. 10. And then point 4.
Okay, we are there. Activate.
Yay!
Okay, cool. That's solved.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if. Oh, Jesus! It's been one of these days.
3 times the charm.
3 times the charm. And what time is it now?
We're only 25 minutes
25
late.
past.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we have the chat up and everything. Shall we explain what we're doing here one more time?
Yeah. We're doing art fusion.
We're doing an art fusion, and what we thought was we're going to fill this paper together, and we are going to improvise something into existence. We know we want to work with maybe something to do with magic and nature
But it's a maybe.
and symmetry.
Yeah.
So if we have all the cameras working and we have the chat working, shall we just say fuck it and start drawing?
Let's just say it's
So what I suggest is that we find almost the middle here.
Yeah.
And we touch pencils, and then we start from there. Okay?
and the top is here, right?
The top is there.
Yeah.
Hmm. Am I in the middle here?
More or less.
Yeah, so just touch here. And then we go down to a point here. Okay, and then we each start drawing our way. And I just want to say that I'm a much more hardcore artist than Nick, not because I do my stupid squiggly lines, but because he sharpens his pencil and I don't.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that it's like your pencil is off.
So
That's very interesting approach for me because lately I paint a lot and I start with paint.
yeah,
So then I do this like splashes of paint till I get like small details or like visible details. But here you draw the splash now, right?
we're drawing our splash. Yeah, I am so professional that I didn't put my sound off on my phone, even though Lucas told me to, because that's how I roll. But yeah, recently I've barely touched a pencil, so doing this way is strange for me, and I want to do a face, some sort of face here into your part, and then you can take it. And I want to do a face that's sort of looking up. I see. So you have ear here, then you have the nose and the huge shadow from the nose, like this. And Lucas, are you watching the chat as well? So
We have some people from Seattle.
ooh,
Oh, hello, Seattle.
hello Seattle, hello. Yeah, where are everyone?
Let me see. Oh yeah.
Where are everyone located? Watching?
I see that someone is asking for Cthulhu, of course.
Yeah, we may fit the Cthulhu here.
Oh, we can fit a
Oh.
lot of creatures.
You're doing, is it looks seagullish, or is it crow?
It depends on what character is going to show later on the day.
Hmm.
That's what I noticed a lot when you do especially ravens in tattoos.
Hmm.
When people say like, yeah, but I don't want a large tattoo, I want something small, and you do like a nice raven, but then like scaled down. They all turn into seagulls.
All birds look the same. I liked the wings coming out, so and the feathers here. So I'll repeat that design on my end. We don't need to go overboard with details because we want to go into the painting part as well, right?
I would, you know, I would start just painting it like a little earlier, and then we can add details. Or you want to have a composition and then color it?
We don't need to do. I think we can do like 5 minutes of just trying to plan a few things here,
Yeah.
and then we can swip the whole paper around, and you can get the problem of understanding my sketches, and I can get the problem of
That's
understanding your
beautiful
sketches.
problem.
Yeah.
But it's kind of because we did art fusions with Kim before, with other artists at Tonsor Rock, and that was only at Tonsor Rock actually, right?
Yeah, we've only done them at Tons, yeah.
And that was done a little bit differently.
Very
With a
differently.
Few people working on a few canvases at the same time, and then switching every like 10 or 15 minutes, and you take off someone else's canvas, someone else's idea, and try at least not ruin it, elaborating on it, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But very intense. This is more like you can actually plan stuff and
And
talk about stuff.
Yeah, and this is
It's a
sort of
snake. I love it. Can I continue it on this side?
yeah, of course. I'm leaving the difficult part to you. That's the
Thank
whole.
you.
That's my plan here.
We have
I
some
know.
people from Lindos and from India.
Lindos and India, and I'm guessing I can say hi, Mona. India.
Yes, Mona, yeah.
Mm.
You are right. You are right.
Yeah, and just because now, since the stream is finally working somewhat, we can actually say that if you like what we're drawing on, what we're painting, what we're fusioning together, then you can bid on it by sending an email to bidding@denungeherrholm.com. It's a silent auction, so you just send an email there with your bid, and Lucas will read up, will monitor the email, and the highest bidder before midnight, was that what we decided?
Before noon tomorrow.
Before noon
In
Norwegian
case.
time tomorrow,
Yeah. In case if people are
before noon
sleeping
the
off
3rd,
the
yeah,
weekend today.
before noon the 3rd of February,
Yeah.
Norwegian time, the highest bid will get the art.
And we start with a small price, like 28,000 or so, to start with.
Rubles.
I'm thinking if it's a snake and a raven, and raven looks outwards, then snake looks back into the face.
Yeah.
Kind of, you can interpret it as your demons, my demons.
I'm doing sketching some very simple mountain ranges here. You don't need to really see that they're mountain ranges, but I'm sketching them because then I can get some giants walking behind the mountains with empty-eyed giants. And since we have a chat here, the chat can also ask us questions and
All kinds of questions.
comments, and you can even do ideas. We will ignore them if we like.
Mona says hi.
Hello, Mona. Yes, good to have some familiar faces in the chat. And I'm
How's your angle? You see it a little bit from sideways, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Do you think it would look like they've fallen into it? That's going to be interesting to see when we see it from a different angle.
I like how the face is dissolving here.
I think maybe it would not like half dead, but
yeah.
a little bit dead. Like
Now we are very much into sort of the Norse mythology thing by accident, since we have ravens, too, and we have a half dead face, and we have a snake. So
but it's a snake. It's not a serpent. So that's a very big difference.
Is there a difference?
Yes. Serpent can be small, but it's majestic, and it's powerful. And snake could be just snaky. Snake is snake. Makes sense. We know what I mean.
No, but I think in we do have two words in Norwegian, but no, we are three.
Do they have
we have
different
orm,
meanings? Yeah.
which can be anything, but including the big ones and the small ones. Then we have snake, which is slange, which is the poisonous and the that kind of snake.
Okay.
And then you have a snook, which is, I think, I don't know.
Because if you talk about the character, like talk about the person, and you say like, oh, he's a snake. it's different from say like, oh, he's a serpent, right? It's a snake.
He's a viper.
Yeah, snake can be sneaky and can bite you, and serpent it still bite you.
Shall we turn the paper around and?
Yeah.
That's the bad part of the plan.
That's gonna be upside down then. Right?
Shall we change places?
Yeah.
Let's do that, because then we'll also not be sitting with our drawing arm to the camera. Okay, and now we start painting. Or you can also start drawing with these.
I'll keep this for maybe for a bit later. But they mix really well with acrylic.
Yeah.
But those acrylic I don't think I ever used.
I like these a lot.
They liquid enough?
Yeah. Let's try it like this.
Oh, I like that. We'll start with the same color and do one color at a time.
Maybe. That sounds like a
terrible idea.
Terrible idea. Let's do it. That's so. And I go. And I can work this out with water quite a bit, and it will remain nice and thick still.
It's fun to work with like new mediums, as long as you're not stressed about them.
Yeah, we have 31 people watching and going up.
Fantastic.
Then we have some comments already. Hello from Canada. This collaboration is so cool. That's Dragon Lady. Cia9, Danger Noodle. Just someone looking good already. And Mona is sending you a second heart.
Thank you. If anyone in the chat has any questions or things they want us to talk about our artistic process, about
deeply personal questions,
deeply personal questions about Nick,
about being Russian, cyber attacker.
Yeah. To be clear, Nick is Russian, but he is not a cyber attacker, and it's not a fun thing to be Russian these days.
No, really.
No.
But I see that people see it now in a different way. That was like when the war just started. It was kind of, you would tell people, they ask you where you're from, and you say Russia, and they'll be like, oh. Now they know that if I'm here, and if I'm actually talking to them, I'm probably on the right side.
Yeah.
So
Not on the Putin side.
Yeah, those guys, they can stay in Russia.
Absolutely. And you you started out as a tattoo artist, right?
It
Or
was
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like working and getting some kind of recognition. It was all due to tattooing. But I started tattooing because I thought I knew how to paint, and I was drawing. So I would draw tattoo designs for my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they would bring it to someone else. And it was deep in Russia back in '90s, so there were not real tattoo studios. They would just bring it to someone who they know who can tattoo, and they would do terribly. And I was looking at those like designs and like, Jesus, I can maybe just try and make it better. So my first approach to tattooing, it was like, well, I know how to paint. That's what I thought back then, and of course I can tattoo.
Yeah. How difficult can it be?
Yeah. And then I started tattooing, and it was terribly difficult. And it was a long way. And then maybe like 10 years after I was already tattooing a lot and full time and getting some kind of recognition, I thought, well, how hard is it going to be to start painting again?
Yeah.
And that was that was even worse than going to like tattoo illustration,
Mm-hmm.
because you change your perspective, and then the deeper you look into it, the less secure you feel. So that was interesting, kind of like the new start over again and over again.
But that is basically how art feels. You think you learn something, and the next thing will be easy, and then you start again and again and again and again.
Because it's like sometimes that you think you know. Like, yeah, of course. Like some of my first oil paintings that I did in Norway, they were so terrible because I was painting as a kid, like teenager, and like as a young person. And then I thought like, yeah, well, I just pick up the brush and start painting again, and I take a big canvas right away and start, and like, I don't know, I don't remember this being so hard.
I want to skip to another color. Are you ready to skip to another color?
In a minute. Yes.
I want to skip to the orange. This one. I think this will go wonderfully together.
Yeah. But what about you? You started, what was your first, first paid work that you got paid with money for making art?
Yeah, so
like professionally.
The very first were kind of small gigs here and there, but the first passion was comics, and I drew a ton of comics all through my teenage years, and I also did a lot of fanzines and released my own comic books
On your own stories.
with my own stories.
Amazing.
And I've always, the strange thing for me is that art has always been secondary for me. Art for me is not a means unto itself, it's a means to create stories. It's my way of
Not
understanding the story of the world, of existence. I understand stories through thinking visually about them. So comics was, I thought, perfect for me until I realized how hard they are. And then, so the first steady professional work was doing illustrations and as small comics for the Nemi magazine in Norway.
Oh, right.
So I did a lot of side stuff there and in some other magazines. And comics was, that was my life calling. I was going to I was going to bring the revolution through comic book medium. And then after working on my own comics and being more and more frustrated because comics are really difficult, and also you need to, for longer form comics, you need to step back into the same mindset again and again, and that turned out to be a challenge when you're bipolar and when you don't have the same mindset for months.
And there
in a
were
row.
longer stories or like a short ones? How long were those stories?
I wanted to do epic stories, but the longest I published was my Lovecraft adaptation, Pickman's Model, which is 100 pages or so.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I don't think I've seen the whole comics.
You can. I have it here, so you can see it later. I think I have it here. Okay.
I used to draw like I would call them comics, but they were. It's actually like really weird. They look like a film stripe or something. You know, it was like AKG paper that my dad would bring from work.
Yeah.
And I would just draw frame by frame, step by step,
You
and then you can roll it and read it like from the roll.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I would bring them to the school and just show it to my friends, and it was like you can watch the little movie while you're bored at those lessons. But I think the longest one I made like that, it was just a little over 100 frames, and that took me. I was 14 or 13, something like that, and I thought like, yeah, I have this cool story, and I'm gonna draw it. I started drawing like on I think 1st of January, just to see like how much I can do like in a year, and I was going to do like the whole series inspired by Star Wars kind of. So my plan was like, yeah, by the end of the year I would be doing like a comics number 3, and then I finished the one I started in maybe like October, the first one, and it was like just 100 frames. And while I was drawing it, I was growing as an artist, if you can call yourself an artist at that age.
Yeah,
So
I think
the start of that comics was drawn by a child, and the end was kind of a little bit more
drawn
grown
by a
out.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So I think that was one of the last ones I did. I tried to do more classic ones for those like frames that you draw, like that would look like real comics books.
Yeah.
And that was even more work than I had with those like rolled paper. So I still keep it for maybe when I retire. If I don't know, do you think artists can retire? Retire from like stress, and you know what I mean. When you have time to actually sit and do like, I feel like doing this.
I don't know if I'll ever figure out how to retire from stress. Retire from public artistry, maybe, but that's one of the things is a lot of times, people ask me about the pressure of, for instance, doing this whole social media thing and the YouTube thing, and having a following, and yeah, there is pressure in that, but it's just a way for me to pressure myself. I'm the main pressurer. I mean, I'm the devil on my own shoulder, and
Yeah, you're not forced to do that, okay?
no, it is pressure and stress is very much connected to how I have fun, in a sense, you know. Like today, I mean, I've been at wrestling practice, and then straight here. So 3 hours of being tossed around and tossing people around and bumping and you know, being short of breath every single second because I'm old. And then hurrying over here and just, will this work? How will it be to, how will we what will we do? Will we get the stream to work? Did we get the stream to work? Finally, we got the stream to work. And all of that leads me to, that stress leads me to this place where I'm very much enjoying just being here and doing this. And without that extra pressure and stress, maybe I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Do you agree that the happy artist is probably the least creative artist?
No, I don't think so.
Comfortable artist.
Comfortable. Comfortable isn't the same as happy.
Not the okay.
Want to try a yellow one? Or we can look for more colors.
Something like ochre maybe, but this kind of yellow would fit for like
oh yeah.
figures.
Let's do
Will
that.
you be adding any black? We could mix the black into like green tones as well.
When you changing colors, I can read some chat messages.
Yeah.
So
Let's hear it from the chat.
so Mirza Ashyat is we love Nick even if he's a cyber attacker. And then it's just someone again. I'm interested what the plan is. How often will you change signs?
We can change now.
Shall we change?
Yeah.
Oh, let's change.
Okay, when you change in there, Mirza Ashyat again is telling us that that's used to draw pretty well for a kid in primary school or middle school, but I just lost track on my hobby. But finally, after some years, I have started to draw casually, building up my art again.
Fantastic.
That was Mirza Ashyat. So okay, we changed the sides. You can. That's there we have it. And by the way, Mir Lind is asking if you are a Russian anarchist.
But now, yes. I'm not a fan of anarchy as a concept.
Okay.
But if you apply that to today's situation, I think anarchy would probably be better than we would have now. So if you choose from two evils, then I would support anarchy more than like governmental oppression, anyways.
I am very offended that you call my ideology evil.
It's not evil. No.
You said two evils, and I take it deeply and personally.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I think if there's one thing you learn as an anarchist, it's to or hopefully learn, is to not expect people to agree, because very few do. Of course, if you explain it properly, then most people actually do, but that takes time.
It's the same like when people know that I'm Russian and they ask me what I feel about, communism and stuff like that. Or I don't think people see difference between communism and socialism anymore, so they would ask those like interesting questions, and it's impossible to give a right answer, and explaining that would be I know it's a really cool concept that never worked, and I don't think it will ever work. But in theory, it's great. But it's been used to put so much evil into this world, like trying to present it as like, yeah, it's at the end we get equal rights for everyone, and let's just push now. And it always ends in the dictatorship. So that's what ruined my home country, and those people that call themselves like communists, and they were original anarchists. By the time they got into power, they became oppressive oligarchs. So it's not about idea. Any idea is cool, and people that I would say they practice it almost religiously. So I'm just trying to keep my clear perspective at that, and they're like, well, maybe it doesn't sound evil at the moment, but if you let people bring it to life, it will end up being evil anyway.
I sort of think you are. Now let's have the political debate.
Yes.
I think you are sort of usually, or not usually, but you are slightly misinformed in a very common way, and one of these things is this idea that socialism never works.
Oh, it works in Norway, but it's not
No,
socialism.
no, that is social democracy, but you know that is a very different thing. But there are a lot of there's a lot of nuance to this.
Yeah.
In the case of Russia, of course, it was a bloody dictatorship, and it sort of still modernized Russia in a gruesome way, in a lot shorter time than we've seen in, for instance, a lot of so-called capitalist states, which have also gone from agrarian to dictatorship, and then.
Oh yeah, by all means, it's like I don't mean that it should be taken sides.
This is not a support of Stalin, but what I want to say is, if you look at something like the Rojava province in Kurdistan right now, they've had a functional anarchist socialist state or confederacy for over 10 years, while fighting 3 wars with Turkey, with ISIS, and with Syria.
Yeah.
And it's probably not working perfectly.
It was working better than
but
other forms.
And there's a sort of a reason why you don't hear of the success story of feminist anarchist socialism in Kurdistan, but you hear about the horrors of other countries in the same region. There are things that work here, I think, and we'll see in
To me,
10 years when they reveal the horrors. But that's
when I I don't talk to Russian people anymore. It's impossible. But when I did, and I tried to have arguments with them, they always presume that if you don't support their ideology, then you probably support the opposite one. So if you say well, I'm not 100% into what most people call anarchism, they would say oh, so you support capitalism? Why would I support that?
Yeah, it's usually it's a either or, but usually things are much more complicated, and for me, I think anarchism for me is sort of, uh, I David Graeber came up with a good definition, and that is anarchism is what you do every day when you have a problem and you don't call the police.
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's really that simple. It is finding ways to solve our own shit, because I don't think this idea that top-down management is better or more efficient, I don't think that really works. I think top-down management has limited uses. But it's good that we can sit here and draw fantasy shit while
Well,
solving
yeah.
the world's problems. I mean, if people only listen to us.
There is a question, by the way.
Mhm.
You asked for questions as well, and this was how this is to both of you. How do you guys deal with frustration in art? And that's a question from Neerland.
It's one of the best and deepest questions, I think.
With joy and terror.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, frustration is a part of the artistic process. It is. It is more than anything. Frustration is what drives me forwards as an artist. Which isn't. I'm not saying that this is healthy or sane or something you should emulate, but I really hate how little I know about art, so I learn to know more, and then I get more frustrated. And so it continues. I mean, that's how it goes. So goes the days. It is eternally frustrating.
I think in my case, frustration comes not from art, but from trying to keep it sane and working with art while dealing with all the other stuff. So, like, if I paint something and I don't like the way it looks, it may be upsetting, but then I know that, okay, I tried this and it failed, so next time I'll do it and it will work. That's not a frustration. But if you do it on a commission work, or on something that you like wanted to show to people and or like something ambitious, that's the frustration. Like, I think like we all have a little bit of fear of judgment, and it's really hard to, overtaking it is one of the main tasks when you work especially when you work commercially as an artist, because you always think like, yeah, what would they say if I do something wrong? What would they think? And that's the frustration. That's the pure frustration. But in the process of making art, even like if I tattoo and I have a client that is, well, not all of them are nice people. May have people that I don't really connect with. It's frustrating talking to them. It's frustrating taking breaks. But when I start working and I'm in the focus, it's more joy than frustration anyway.
I think that my process is actually more frustration than joy.
Yeah.
The joy is
when the joy comes.
The joy comes in bits and pieces. It comes with the spark of the idea. It comes with certain parts of the process. It comes with, there is a joy in doing one of my squiggly, messy lines and saying, ooh, that one worked. But it's always, it's a long way between that one worked and the next one that worked. Yeah, I'm sort of, sometimes I feel joy at the finished product, most times I feel like, okay, I'm done. And but still, the quantity of frustration is a lot bigger than the quantity of joy, but the strength of the joy might be bigger in the end, I think.
That was a very good question.
Yes, very good question.
Thank you. Do you like to look at your old work? Or like looking at your work after you finished in general? Or you want to be done and done?
I do look at my work. I do like it in a sadomasochistic way, but only in a sadomasochistic way. It is,
Okay, makes sense.
I at times I'm able to look back and say, okay, this was actually good. But most of the time I dread looking at my work, and then I force myself to see it, and then I take joy in how painful it is to look at my old work. And interestingly, I got a bunch of crates with all my art from when I was 1 year old to 12, 13, 15 that I now have at my house.
But that one's interesting to look at.
That is interesting to look at. That is very different to look at, because at that point I've forgotten what I tried to do. So it's not bound to my expectations of myself anymore. So there I get actually a lot more joy at watching my crappy G.I. Joe versus ninjas drawings.
Yes.
Those are fun, and I guess at some point I might look back at my adult work.
When you get old enough to think that you were like just a child back then, right?
Yeah, but in those crates there were also one with a lot of work from 17 to 24, 25, where I'm much more developed as an artist, but still, not. I've learned a couple of things since then, I'd hazard to say, but it is still. I still go like, yeah, I remember what I tried to do there, and it wasn't quite what I intended. I think, in order to really appreciate my art, I have to get senile and just forget everything.
Do you ever get to the point where you don't remember or don't recognize your own artworks when people show you?
Yeah.
And you'll be like, do you remember? Have you ever had it like you look at it as like no recollection of doing it?
Yeah, there are some that takes a lot of time before I remember, at least, and then I maybe vaguely remember.
But did you ever have to do works that, you do it for money and you have to just to be done, and you try your best to forget after you're done?
Oh yeah, I've done some terrible commission work. I since we were talking about politics, there was a time when I got hired again and again by the right-wing city government in Bergen to draw politicians for their birthdays and their weddings, fun, loving caricatures of right-wing politicians. and of course drawn in a way that wouldn't upset them. And I'd like to say that I have forgotten them, but I still remember.
But you didn't. You still have to make it the best you can, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you can be proud of doing it professionally.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of phoning it in is something that I have phoned work in, but only unwillingly. I mean, even when you say to yourself, I'll just do this as a quick cash grab. This will be easy, but I make it difficult every time.
I had a lot of it as a tattoo artist, but also you get to. I think I did maybe a few mistakes like that when I was just starting my tattoo career. When people would ask something that is clearly, it's dumb idea, but you still do it because you work in a street shop and you just need to make money. And then you would meet that person some years later. They would run to us like, still love my tattoo. I tell everyone it's you and it's your name, and they love it. And like, oh god damn it, please don't do that. I thought it's you happy with it and it's long forgotten. Like, no, I tell everyone it's you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's. But that is actually one thing I learned when I published my or got published my first one-off professional comic. It was a story called "This is a Robbery," da-da-da-da-don. And it was a sort of a short crime thingamabob, and I think it has its merit still. But one of the things that happened was that I drew a almost finished version of it and gave it to a few friends and colleagues for reading through it and getting feedback and criticism. And then I had already started redrawing some of the stuff that I didn't like. And in the whole comic, there was one image that I hated more than any other image in that comic. And a friend of mine read through it and pointed to that tiny little image and said, "I love it. That's me. That's me." And the thing I did then was I tossed away all the redraws, except the ones where I felt that the story got difficult to read. So if the story was difficult to read, then that was a valid excuse for a redraw. If I just didn't like the technical execution of my art, then fuck it. I mean, I'm not drawing this to show that I'm technically excellent. I'm drawing this to tell a story. And yeah, I'm not the arbiter of what you get out of my art. So I'll trust the fates and the gods and the
But you seem to have this like a loose style and that approach that you don't seem to overwork. At least like from my perspective, I don't think you do. But do you ever feel like you overdo it by like overworking details? So like, do you sometimes wish you stopped earlier?
No. Just every single time.
Oh.
I mean, that is the flippant answer, but that is also the true answer. That most of the time, the way I know that I'm done is when I see that what I put into the work is starting to detract from it instead of add to it. And so most of, whether it be my finished piece or it's just be a portion of a larger piece, most of the time I always do 2 or 3 strokes more than I feel I need.
Oh, at
And-
least strokes and not hours, right?
I'm good at not overworking things for hours because I do like the looseness. I do like the loose style. I think that works.
Nice. Maybe
Switch.
it's time to change sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes.
Perfect. Was just thinking the same thing, and I think also it's time to. I want to go in heavy with some pure blacks and whites. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And then we need to find the white because you haven't brought any white up here.
Yeah, that's the lightest one, so those
Ooh.
ones. But you can try them.
Yeah, but I do have some white somewhere. I'll where is the bag? Here's the bag. And while we're figuring out the colors, I have a little bit of this and a lot of this. While we're figuring out the colors, I think it's time to remind people that you can bid on this art by sending an email to bidding@denungeherrholm.com.
You have that on written down on the stream, right?
No, we don't, because we're not that smart. Really, I mean, I expected more of you, thinking we've got our shit together. I mean,
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. No worries.
How much black do you want to put in?
I like a lot of black.
All right, you start, and then I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll do this one because it's old and weathered and. Okay.
Post it.
Yeah, so now the address for sending in bids, and you can send bids all the way till noon tomorrow. And yeah, send bids to bidding@denungeherrholm.com if you want.
Support starving artists.
Yeah. Support starving artists.
CR9, I hope I read correctly, says love to see the progress, so there is some appreciation what you're doing now.
Thank
That's
you.
my friend Stina. Hey, Stina.
Okay. Yeah.
It's interesting to see progress from my perspective as well, because it's so different from what I would normally do.
Yeah, this is totally unlike anything I've.
Yes. Disconnected, reconnecting.
Okay.
Okay, it's coming back.
The technical issues keep playing us today. We did a test a few days ago that went perfectly, and now not so much. It's
Yeah, the top camera, we just lost it.
lost it again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it shifted internet automatically. So
Should I deactivate it?
yeah, no, don't deactivate it. I'll.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's on the right internet.
Yeah, but we don't have it.
Okay, I'll stop it and restart it. What is the port on it? Oh, sorry. That should be correct.
Should I?
Yeah, restart it.
There is nothing there.
More technical issues.
Yes. Is this 172.20.10.4?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the microphones are working, so we can
Yes,
still
they are.
talk, and then we can we need the top camera, so
Yes,
we can't
we do.
really work without it.
Yes, we do.
We can make it like a radio show about painting.
Yeah, this drawing is best on the radio. That's a compliment for you.
You want to do like a sharp lines on it?
Yeah. On your side,
Oh,
switch.
On both. We can just do a little bit.
I've done some sharp lines now,
So
haven't I?
the sound is really good, so that's not a problem. The problem is only the top camera. Let me check. There is still nothing there.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, like those lines, like like drawn lines. Would
Mm.
it make it a little bit, because this is like painted, and that would be like.
Oh yeah,
drawing.
some lines with that. Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
I can actually start with. I'll just do it on the raven and brown, so it stays on the background. And if I get horrified with the way it goes, I can bail anytime.
Can I check the top camera?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, but can we go back?
Yeah. Stop it and then it goes back. Yeah, I like working in these that you can't see. Dear chat.
Where is the droid gone? How do you get back? I don't know how to get back.
I'll get over this. Okay, this was a lot more complicated than I had hoped. same port. Try reactivating the camera. Let me see here. Go down. See if it is 4747. 4747. I don't know what to do with the camera.
Can you try using this one to have a drop down?
Yeah.
Or that one?
Is the top one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the top one.
Yeah.
Does it
Let's
work?
do it.
No.
Okay, you finish the drawing and I'll finish the camera.
This one?
So what we learned today is that we need
Better internet.
Hmm?
Better internet.
Better internet and also better equipment. We can't rely on a phone for one of the cameras, I think.
Not for a live stream.
No.
Should I pause for a second? Or
No, that's okay.
okay.
If Nick, you just say something very interesting and
Yeah, so video is back. No worries, since the most listening to you all via work. Radio painting is a great idea, concept. Ha ha ha.
I miss radio in a way because it was, you didn't have to sit in front of the screen. You could move around and yeah, it would just stay with you.
Yeah, and then there's this was from CN9, the radio, CN9, and then it's just someone. The progress will be more of a surprise reveal after we talk about what you are doing.
Oh, we're going to mislead you guys completely.
Completely.
No,
okay.
Should I see the?
Yeah.
There we are. Oh my God.
And then you just turn the whole screen around.
Like a,
Yeah, you make it smaller. And on one of the, I'll do it.
because I don't know what you need.
Whoop.
Oh, there you go. Ah, yes, of course. There you go.
Like that.
Nice.
look at this. This is beautiful now.
It's coming along. I think we need to trade places soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that now.
Yeah.
Just watching for the cable. That's the
Whoops.
only way.
Oh, nice. I like what you did with those highlights. Yes.
So what is the time? That's the question.
The time is
Spaced out truck. I think what is the time for drawing he asked for? I don't know.
oh yeah. I think we will probably. I think we will finish this one quite quickly. Or what do you think, Nick?
I think so because it looks good now.
Yeah.
It means that we're getting close to the point where we may overwork it. So I like your concept about that. If you feel like you did a little bit too much, then and you're still able to stop without stressing too much, then just stop.
Yeah.
But I think I'll do those tattoo-like black lines.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, look what we've done to your table. It was so new.
Yeah,
It's
it
so
was
clean.
awful, and now
Okay.
it's slowly starting to get better. I absolutely hate clean tables. Gives me anxiety. So yeah.
It's a raven now.
Yeah,
Started with a seagull.
yeah. It's the classic.
I don't know.
The ugly seagull that grows up to be a beautiful raven. I think that's the fairy tale.
I don't know whether it's Hunin or Munin, but well, both of them are in the picture anyways.
And we have this one here.
I think we probably will be able to see a lot, and this may be more than we can see.
Definitely.
You know, it's like now in art you always have to kind of have your own explanation and stuff, but I really don't like explaining.
Yeah, I used to like explaining, but more and more I think that my own interpretation is
It may ruin the experience for the viewer because
Yes,
they may see something so personal.
so I usually sort of leave it at I can explain some of the events surrounding the process of drawing. That I can explain, but to try to explain.
But it's a bit easier with figurative work when you have, at least you know, you have a picture, then you see what it is. So, but also, yeah, let's not. Maybe we shouldn't. We can talk more about politics, but the art is like it's a very sensitive topic because everybody is an artist nowadays, you know. And you may get actually like people may get offended when you go into those explaining stuff, and then they may disagree, and yeah, it's not going to lead to anything positive anyway.
To talk about art.
Like explaining art and defining art and all of that.
Oh, I can define art.
Okay, define art for me.
That depends on the context. But if we're talking about this kind of visual art that we're doing now, I think it is simply communication through visual.
Yes.
That's it. And there are a lot of other concepts of art you can do, and then you have to define it for that as well. And and I think you need really broad definitions because it is a really broad field, but something like communication is broad enough to encompass whether it's abstract or it is conceptual or it is storytelling. It's all communication, and as a side effect, it makes it so that the exit sign is art as well, which I like.
That's a good one. Okay. Accept that.
So we have some more two extra comments. One is from Shannon again. we'll follow you too blindly, no worries. And then it's after we actually show what you're doing now.
Mhm.
This is amazing, man. This is from Malbert. Nancy and Ines agreeing with it. So I think it,
Thank you, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Thank
this is-
you for
this is fun.
sticking with us through all the ups and downs of this stream and for hanging out and
What a beautiful way to spend Sunday. Let's do it.
yeah. I want to do it again. This is the thing is, this is a way for me to get less frustration with the art because if anything sucks, I'll just say that you did it.
Yes.
No, because it is. I'm not the boss of this. It's not.
You mean for yourself when you look yourself and you would be much more picky or like judgmental to yourself if
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just yours, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. I don't know how you feel, but
Yeah, it's liberating because you just do it, and I don't think I would be able to do that alone. I did
No.
when I was painting at Gallery Fjaller, and I did this art experiment when I was just doing that 3 days in a row, and I was painting and talking, and even though there were people around, they would come and go.
yeah.
It felt a little bit lonely and a little bit mad in a way, so I'm talking like a madman to myself, and I'm not always sure that I don't know if people are watching or not, and I keep on talking, and it's kind of drives you a little bit crazy. I think maybe you have enough crazy in you not to stress about that.
Oh no, I have enough crazy in me to stress about everything all the time. What's the title of that movie? Everything.
Everyone at once or something like that.
Yeah, everything, everyone, all at once, at the same time. Whatever. Yeah, fantastic movie. But that, I can stress about. I want to give her a bird eye here.
Perfect. With a white highlight on it.
Oh, yeah.
at the end.
And then I also think when you're done with this, I think you should do the snake on the other side as well. And I'll go and squiggle it with my messy lines a little bit.
Shall we
Yep.
give it? Yeah, let's switch. MTI, switch.
Okay, so we have a switch. Nice.
Give
Switch
it.
over the tables.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me my water, if you please. Thank you, dear sir.
We are 97 minutes into the stream already.
Excellent.
That's from the start
Yeah.
and including all the fails.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's correct. That's how we started.
Yeah. So this will probably be a stream that we will take down afterward, or maybe we'll keep it up if we can edit out the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a fun experiment, no matter what.
Nice. I like it. Now then it means like we getting close to the end, so while I still like it, before I start regretting overdoing it. We'll have to figure out the name for it.
I'll I'll do another owl eye here. Do we have to figure out a name for it?
Let people figure it out.
Yeah.
There should be a name, but it can be completely, abstract name.
Question is from just someone as well. Are you planning another one after?
On the stream?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do a second thing today. I don't think.
But we'll do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again the next time you're in Bergen.
Or
next
time you're in Oslo.
Yeah. And we'll do it with, and we'll have, we'll get the technical stuff working before then. So it will be even better, I think.
Yeah, I think internet fixes gonna just solve all the issues.
Yeah, I think what happened with I think what happened with the third camera wasn't an internet issue.
No.
So that's another type of issue. But I think with all of this, I think it's a lot better to jump in and learn a lot of things rather than wait for everything to be perfect. I seldom think that waiting for things to be perfect is anything more than an excuse for not doing anything.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my complaints often when I get questions and stuff from young wannabe artists. Not wannabe in a derogatory sense, but young people who want to be artists. And they say, "Oh, I really want to start drawing. What equipment should I buy?" You shouldn't. You have post-it notes and ballpoint pens. That's great. Have fun with that first, and then you figure out what you need step by step. The best equipment to do art with is whatever you have at hand. Always.
I've been there myself, and it was not the worst now, because at some point when I was tattooing a lot and I could afford buying a lot of art equipment, I would go into the art store and be like, yeah, I want to start doing this and that, and I would buy